How come most startups fail, even when we have more tactics and strategies than ever before? Join the bedside chat of an entrepreneurial couple as they share what it takes to create a business with ease and in flow.
Welcome back to another bedside chat with us. I'm Natasha
And I'm Jachym.
And this is your daily evening, whenever you're listening to Biz and Flow chat.
Bedside chat.
Absolutely. So, how was your day and what did you get done for your biz today?
Well, for our biz, we kind of started focusing on actually creating the systems now and starting working them, the Instagram stuff, and posting on or comment on people's posts, and you start posting and all kinds of stuff. So it was quite busy doing that, and I just noticed how much there's this whole idea out there of working hard, gotta work harder tomorrow, and when people say that, I mean, it's just there's this kind of sense of hardship in it, in those posts, and I just don't agree with it. You can put in hours and you can do work, but it just doesn't need to be this kind of hardship and struggle and gotta do this way and whatever. And so that's been quite good to see how many people actually subscribe to this kind of mentality, and that we can provide an alternative view to that.
And funny enough, I scheduled a post this evening for our Instagram feed, and what was it? It was a quote that said, "You can struggle
and get things done,
or
you can get things done."
Right. And we didn't really plan this because we had a list of quotes that we like, and we had them set aside, and
we created them.
Yeah. And then I turned them into images, which we can use all branded and nice with our logo on it and the colors right. And then I was just scheduling one tonight, and that was directly after Jachym telling me or sharing me on a walk how his experience was just engaging in the entrepreneurial community on Instagram. And then I went home and just scheduled in what I already wrote quite a few days ago while we were taking a long walk. On a picnic table, I wrote down a bunch of, content or writing that would be paired up with all the images. And it turns out that this is a second quote, and I uploaded it, and I just couldn't believe that it was exactly what you were talking about, except we're talking about how it's not necessary to struggle.
And what did you learn?
We did our YouTube video, one that actually was planned. This has been in the talks for a while now. Jachym and I kept ping-ponging back and forth a bunch of ideas, and nothing really seemed to stick or feel like the exact right thing to do. And first we were going to go for this kind of spontaneous documentation. And I actually realized that, Jachym has tried a few times. I'd be goofing off, and right after I finish a funny dance, he'll whip out his camera and be like, "Keep going." I'm like, I can't. I just finished being funny. I can't just keep going. Or, there'll be moments where he's like, "Oh, should I capture this?" And I already said what I wanted to say, So it's really hard to really spontaneously document. And I think a lot of the good character, good funny stuff that we do, even a lot of the value in the business comes when we're just in flow and we're just working and we're going about our day. So I realized that, documenting in this way, when we have to kind of capture each other in the moment, it's gonna take a lot of effort. We gotta be like, "Oh, stop, let me take out my camera, okay, do it again." And it really puts a wrench into the machine and makes it a bit more staged, but at the same time it actually inhibits the flow that like we're actually naturally in. So I thought, okay, let's not do that, because even if we get snippets of really good stuff throughout the day, in the editing we still gotta like somehow make it presentable to you. Like, still needs to make sense in a way. So I'm like, too much work. Like, even though it's supposed to be actually easy because it's just documentation, but since like we're really not in the place to like have someone follow us around and video and audio record us all day long, it's really not the best option. So we thought that we'll just sit down and do a 10-minute video each day. It's kind of similar to the podcast, but not, because in video we are so much more hilarious. And today we just started off the video saying, all right, this is the first video, we want to do it, every day, at least for a week, and see how it goes. And we admitted to the viewers, like, we have no clue what we're doing. But soon after, like, we landed on the topic and we really went with it. So what did we talk about today on the video?
We talked about our coaching work and what we actually do with people in the room. And we kind of brushed on different topics when it comes to change and where change comes from. So I really liked it, and it's just another example of us not being quite sure, but then just rolling with the simplest idea and just get going. And I think that's just more valuable than being stuck on trying to figure everything out perfectly. Because, you get going, you get some momentum, and you can always adjust and change along the way. But waiting and planning really can be kind of paralyzing in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then I was really surprised about that, because just like this podcast episode, or podcast in general, him and I just feel like, we're winding down at the end of the day. Yes, we bring a little bit more energy than just winding down, but it's really nice to reflect together and to share what we've learned so far. It's really nice. It doesn't feel like work at all, this podcast. And then for the video, we thought that, okay, let's take 10 minutes out of our day and let's just goof around and, share whatever we need to share. And that was really relaxing too, because, literally we were working away separately, and Jachym's like, all right, I think it's time to do the video. The sun's gonna set soon. So he set up the whole thing, and then we sat down and we just started talking to each other, and then it just came. So it was actually a lot of fun, a lot easier, a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
So if you're stuck on anything, really, just give it a go. What's the minimum you can do, and just start rolling with it, and then adjust along the way. Action just beats waiting most of the time.
Jachym was also extremely, you weren't anxious, but you were ready to get things going. When we went on our first walk today, you were like, okay, I want to see like things rolling, I want to get the systems down, I want to like see it happening. What was that about?
Well, because we've been going about this now, I don't know, 19 days, almost 20 days, something like that. And we have been setting up the foundation, which was necessary with the different bits and parts, but at the same time we haven't been producing as much content, for example on social, not as much sharing as we could have done. And I thought that was a pity, because that's actually where really what one of the most important activities is the engagement and building a following and people. Now we have done the podcast, which has been very good, but I was like, well, we really should get this going so we can just start working the system. And we know, okay, so every day we engage on Instagram and LinkedIn and whatever the platforms are, and we do the posts and we do the comments as well, whatever strategies you're following, but it's just regular. It's like clockwork, and you know that if you do this, at some point you know that you're going to gain this kind of following or this many people, and you just get it going, because it will take some time to actually build the audience and the mass that we are looking for. So the sooner we start, the better.
Jachym's tired of revving the engine and just like filling the tank up and like slowly pushing the pedal down. You're like, push it all the way. Let's speed up.
No, just do the stuff. Just do it.
Which we are.
Yes, we are. But now, well, especially today, it was very productive.
Well, that's funny because we actually did take, I wouldn't say 3 days off, but we took 2 full days off, I'd say. At least from the online work, because we did hold a workshop over the weekend. So we did go pretty, what do you call it? Pedal to the metal, I think? Is that how you say it? Hardcore at the beginning, right?
Yeah, very
And
true.
then we took this day or 2 off, and then now we're kind of getting back into the groove. So I'm not sure if you're kind of like, okay, I've had enough of time off and I actually want to just like get really back into work and get the momentum again.
Yeah, maybe. I don't really know. I just knew that I just want to get this stuff going and get ready for it.
What are you getting ready for?
Just, I don't know. I don't really know. I just said it. No reason.
So yesterday we talked all about money, didn't we?
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up something that I heard Gary V say today, Gary Vaynerchuk. He talked about how he has a hamburger. Meaning the bulk of where his income comes from. And I think that most wealthy people in this world, people who keep their wealth, all have multiple streams of income. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how it's very important for him to have his burger. His burger means investment. It means, I think, Vine Library TV and his media company. And I think I already said investments. So he has a bunch of those things. But then he can then do side projects. It's as if he has this, I wouldn't say stability, but he knows exactly where the bulk of his financial security is coming from. And because of that, he's able then to experiment in many other projects. But it's almost like you need that anchor to then fly further in different directions.
Now, what we didn't discuss last time is your mania for discounts.
Okay, it's not a mania. Stop exaggerating. I do not look for like deals when I'm at like the Turkish open market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like everything's on sale when you're in like Istanbul.
Yeah, everything's on sale and you don't have to look anymore.
What's your problem with it?
I don't have a problem with it. You just said yesterday that you have this thing going for it.
Of course I have a preference towards things that are on discount, Jachym. That's what you do with stocks.
Yeah, that's very true.
And cryptocurrency.
Yeah, very true. But you're not selling it on. It's not like you're buying it on discount and then selling it for a higher price, which is what would be in a traditional kind of investment strategy. You're buying it low and then eating it.
Which can slowly contribute to a hoarding problem.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a problem if you keep consuming what you hoard. It's like a beautiful, it's kind of like the income, right? It's like your bank, it comes in and goes out. I don't see a problem.
Well, let's just relate to kind of more the business side of things, because I think there's value in bootstrapping and there's value in cutting costs, but there's also value in investing sometimes in good quality that might be a bit higher priced as well. What are your thoughts on it?
Good quality products or services? Yeah,
well, both. Whatever your business is built on, if you buy shitty service, you might just get more trouble.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are certain things that we do pay more for in our business, and one of them is for hosting, because that is the storefront. The website is the storefront. That's the only kind of location you have for your business. So I pretty much we chose the highest quality hosting company out there. So there are certain things that you shouldn't at all be stingy about. For example, recently the EU, they passed I think called GDPR. It's like a Privacy Protection Act, and it applies for anyone who has an online business, anyone who may be collecting or just, I guess, even if you have a list on hard copy of potential leads, of their names, any information about them, could be just their names, could be their emails, then if you have such people from the EU or from England, then this law applies for you. And it's really hard to filter through people on your list who aren't from certain areas in the world. But anyways, so since that is going to pass and be active in May, I think mid-May, then we also bought, this little mini course to make sure that we comply too, because, even though, it's relatively unlikely that someone will complain that we're not in compliance, people still have the right to, and we could get fined. So that's also not worth, taking the risk, or it's also about due diligence, really.
Yep, I totally agree. And so where is it then, you as the queen of the sales and deals, where is it worth to cut corners or cut costs in your business?
Well, there are certain sites that I really absolutely love. One of them is AppSumo. They can be a distraction though. For those of you who really like shiny objects, it can be a big distraction in that you might get, a weekly or a monthly email filled with deals that they do help you in your business, especially in an online business. So I've purchased multiple ones. And usually they are, startups, or they're quite young in their products. So there's still a lot of development that can happen, meaning you're not going to get like the full-blown full service thing. But they also have some older softwares. But anyways, it's a long story. But we've bought Filmora, which is a really easy to use video editing service. They have lots of fun transitions and intros, and it's kind of fun. I mean, for a dummy like me to edit videos, at least I know I can do a green screen and get some cool stuff in there. What else did I get? I have this Twitter tool to help get more followers. And what did we buy recently? I just signed up today, especially for another completely free tool that's for making. Actually, it's really interesting. It's an AI software where you can show the software the article, which could be all completely text-based, but they're gonna go through the computer, or the AI is going to go through the text, the content, and make a video out of it. So not only are they going to just put the, say text or whatever sentence or the title into the video, they're going to find relevant footage, relevant images, and turn it into a video. Like, how cool is that? Yeah. So I got that for free for a year. Of course, you got to make sure you unsubscribe if you don't want it.
That's how they get you.
Yeah. But anyways, AppSumo is so great. And also for my membership for Feminine Space, I got, I think the Membership Factory or Member Factory. Easy software to use. Literally, you can whip up like a membership site literally within like an hour or two. If you have very little content, let's say, to start with, you can literally just set it up, have like a sales page link, get this like payment ready. Like, it's so easy to use. So I guess this whole spiel about finding deals, like, that's not the most important thing. I think if you gotta invest, you go and invest. If you find deals that are suitable, go ahead and buy those. Don't get confused and don't get distracted by the shiny things that you can get and then you don't actually need, because a lot of times everyone's just looking for the most efficient, productive thing to use, and it doesn't bring you forward because you never needed it in the first place. So you're busy being more efficient at something that you don't need to do. And that's really important to remember, because sometimes we can really mistake in looking or acting like you're super productive as productivity when, maybe it's not relevant what you're even doing. So those are really important things to remember.
All right. I think this is good for today. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, so what did we talk about? From Instagram and seeing how we fit into the market. How literally there is a very strong paradigm about how the hustle should be, how you should all be, yes, Jachym said once on this podcast already, I'll quote him again, bleeding out of your eyeballs. Not sure how.
I did say that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how entrepreneurship really does that to you, but sure, maybe some of you are struggling real hard and going through that, but we truly believe it doesn't have to be that way. So we're out there, we're here giving you everything we've got so that it can be much easier for you. And then we talked a little bit about video and how that was easy for us. Good, right? That was good experiment. And then we talked a little bit about making sure that you have the bulk, the big part of your hamburger, and then you can have the condiments, which are other projects. But make sure that your activities, like I said, what you invest in, whether it's a deal or not, or something of a premium price, make sure that it's all supporting your big project, your big hamburger, your business, the core business, and let everything be condiments. And don't waste too much money, don't waste too much time on condiments until you got your big juicy burger, vegetarian or not, ready. So that's what we advise today.
And we were talking about
me?
Deals.
Yeah.
And yes. And when you say that's what we advise today, of course this is non-financial advice. We're not professionals. It's just our opinion.
Absolutely. It's just what we like to do. And then we do it, and when we share with you all. So that's it for today. Good night, everybody. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Make sure to give us lots of stars wherever you're listening from.
Bye.